This is Ag Matters PM from the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network, brought to you by the Iowa Soybean Association, your daily recap of the information that affects Iowa's farmers, producers, and consumers, right here in the heart of the heartland. With reports from our award-winning broadcast team of Dustin Hoffman, Riley Smith, and Mark Magnuson. Now, from the IARN studios in Des Moines, here's Riley Smith.
Well, good day and welcome to Ag Matters PM from the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network. I'm Riley Smith. Today is Monday, August 7th, 2023. We're very close to the Iowa State Fair, and we're so glad you could join us for today's show. In today's episode, I talk with Theo Gunther of ADM about their Regenerations program. We also have a check of that ag weather outlook, but first, let's run down the markets.
It's time now for the Ag Matters PM Closing Market Summary, your source for market analysis and settlement prices from the day's trade in Chicago, courtesy of the folks at agmarket.net.
We're at the end of another trading day in the ag marketplace, talking with Robin Schmahl of agmarket.net. First off, Robin, what have we seen in the grain markets today?
Well, certainly the Ukraine and Russia didn't disappoint again this weekend, with Ukraine attacking one of Russia's largest oil tankers, and then some bombing on one of the primary bridges to Crimea. So there was a lot of anticipation of what we were going to be doing as far as prices were concerned in the grain side of it. But when we opened up last night and traded during the day, we saw quite a divergence between soybeans and wheat. Corn kind of being stuck in the middle. Really didn't know which way to go. It just kind of hung out a little higher, a little bit lower. And just kind of directionless to some degree. And once we established the highs and the lows, where beans were and wheat was and corn was, really didn't move a whole lot more after that. Now, soybeans were pressured because of the overnight rains that were not overnight, over the weekend rains that we had, and the forecast for cooler weather. And the 14-day forecast shows much of the same, which August is the prime month for soybeans as far as pollination, pod fill. So it's really turning out to be fairly favorable as far as soybeans are concerned, which could then potentially improve soybean yield against slower demand. I mean, we're seeing the slower demand from the U.S. We're seeing high inventories in South America, Brazil, which is pressuring their internal prices. And so we're in that kind of a mode right now where we don't see anything real potential for any kind of a shortness, tightness, whatever in the marketplace, or for any real significant export business coming to our shores. Inspections weren't very good either today. On the low side, all of them were negative. Corn, 14.8 million bushels, down 6.4 million bushels from last week. Soybeans at 10.4 million bushels, down 1.9 million bushels. And wheat at 10.1 million bushels, down 11.4 million bushels from the week before. So the business over in the outside markets trumped any real pressure coming from the low exports as far as wheat was concerned. Now, we did see some positive sales overnight of corn, 251,460 metric tons to Mexico for the 23-24 crop year, and 132,000 metric tons to China for the 23-24 crop year. That was some overnight sales, but again, not having a large part of the impact on the market. Now, we do have crop conditions coming out this afternoon. The trade is expecting 1% increase in corn to 56% good to excellent. Last year it was 58%, so not a whole lot difference between this year and last year at this point in time, considering the real concern over dryness that we saw earlier. Soybeans 54% and expecting a 2% increase from last week, and that would compare to 59% a year ago. Spring wheat at 42% unchanged from last week, and compared to 64% a year ago. Now, harvest of winter wheat is expected to be 89% complete versus 80% last week. and 86% a year ago. So we're on track as far as winter wheat harvest is concerned. Now, India is looking to remove some import tax that they've had on wheat to make it more attractive to purchase outside wheat, because with their weather situation, their decline in some of their crops, their production, they had eliminated some rice exports. They minimized some wheat exports, put tax on. But now, because of rising internal prices, they want to remove that import tax in order to make it more attractive to bring some in order to stem some of the internal price rise that they've been seeing. So a lot of different things going on, but really the bottom line is, I think when we're looking at the primary corn and soybeans right now, we're looking at some actually fairly favorable weather for the crop that has not been damaged by the hot weather, and that could be real beneficial as we move forward.
And then what about the other side of the markets in the livestock complex?
Well, cattle were under pressure today, which was a little bit surprising based off of 1 to 2 higher cash trade last week. We thought we'd see more of a kind of a mixed trade, but they're under some pressure. Now, packers are going to fight tooth and nail this week again. Their margins are pretty thin compared to what they've had for the last number of years. They've been reducing some slaughter, had to pay up a little bit last week in order to get the cattle they needed, but they're going to really hold back. Now, you can think back the last number of weeks, we pushed business off primarily till late on Fridays before we saw really a lot of the business being done. We don't anticipate any real change in that at this point in time. Now, the cutout or not cutouts, I should say, box beef at noon choice was basically unchanged. The select was down $1.59. Feeder cattle did not benefit from any weakness in the corn, which was only minor anyway. They actually initially went up, made new contract highs in October and later months, but then fell back. There's that concern right now because of the packers and what they're going to do to minimize paying higher. We are seeing lofty prices right now, which is making some traders a little bit nervous, even though we have tighter supplies out there, tighter feeder cattle numbers. It is getting to that level where the trend might be harder to develop a steady uptrend versus a more of a choppiness to the uptrend. When we look at hogs, they did basically the opposite today. We had lower cash, lower cutouts on Friday, but that did not influence the trade today because we saw hogs with some triple-digit gains. Now, they showed some surprising strength. October continues to trade because it bounced back up around that $85 level, which has been somewhat of an area of resistance. Looked like we were going to distance itself from that toward the end of last week, but we came right back up to again. Cutouts are up $1.93 today at the midday report, but there's been no cash released because of packer confidentiality as far as the morning report is concerned. So we can just speculate on that. But the pattern has been that the packers have been stronger earlier in the week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, getting what they needed for slaughter early rather than waiting till later. So my anticipation would be we'll see some higher cash going through today, and that's maybe what's underpinning that market. So good strength in the hog market after a dismal end to last week.
Lots of great information today, Robin. For those of our listeners and our viewers who would like to get in touch and learn more from the folks at agmarket.net, how can they do that?
You can call me directly at 877-256-3253 or go to our website, agmarket.net. The phone number's on there. Feel free to call in. Somebody will be glad to work with you.
Thanks again for taking the time to visit with us, Robin, as always, and we look forward to catching up with you again soon.
All right. Thank you. Have a good time at the fair.
That again was Robin Schmahl of agmarket.net. We'll go ahead and take a look at how those numbers close. That's courtesy of the folks at Bar Chart. September corn is down 2 even at 482 1/4. December new crop down 1 1/2 at 4.95 3/4. September soybeans down 38 3/4 at 13.48 1/4. November new crop down 31 1/4 at 13.02 even. August soybean meal up 2.10 at 4.4620. Soybean oil down 1.34 at 66.66. Chicago wheat up 24.5 at 6.57 1/2. Minneapolis spring wheat up 2 even at 8.24 1/4. Kansas City hard red wheat up 17 1/4 at 7.69 3/4. September oats down 12.5 at 4.07 1/4. On the Merc, August live cattle down 120 at 179.70. August feeders down 255 at 246.97. August lean hogs up 50 cents at 101.52. August pork cutout up 97 at 110.45. Class 3 milk up 13 at 17.33. And that's been a check of the markets here on Ag Matters PM. We're going to go ahead and take a quick break to hear from our sponsor, the Iowa Soybean Association and the Soy Checkoff. When we come back, I talk with Theo Gunther of ADM. This is Ag Matters PM.
Iowa Soybean Association is driven to deliver for Iowa's 40,000 soybean farmers. We're proud to provide objective agronomic research, a helping hand with soil and water stewardship, and timely industry news powered by the Soybean Checkoff. Learn more at iasoybeans.com.
Welcome back to Ag Matters PM on the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network. I'm Riley Smith. I had the chance to talk with Theo Gunther of ADM about their regenerations program and how farmers can take advantage of regenerative ag practices and earn a little bit of extra cash. We are here with Theo Gunther. He is the Iowa Program Manager for ADM's Regenerations Program. And some exciting news with that because you guys are expanding into new territory with that and new grounds. Just tell us a little bit about this expansion and the Regenerations program in general.
Right. So the ADM Regenerations Program is the vessel and the brand for all of our incentives to farmers to participate in regen ag programs. So whether that is a practice like a cover crop or new emerging opportunities like emission scoring and ways to differentiate farmers can differentiate their crops and how they're grown. That's all done under the Regenerations brand. So in previous years, we've worked with partners, downstream customers of ours, and local partners to deliver programs around individual facilities, around individual products that we're producing. Now this is set up to be around all of our processing locations, many of our export facilities, and meeting the demands of our downstream customers and what they're looking for from the sourcing that goes on for corn, soybeans, wheat, and several other commodities. So we're now in 18 different states, several Canadian provinces, and all of these programs are coming attached with opportunities for farmers to get paid for the practices they're already doing or to expand those practices into the future.
Right. And, what a time to be expanding that regenerative ag program because we have, honestly, it feels like a lot more of a focus recently on that regenerative ag. We've got like Iowa NRS going through and really pushing that through. Feels like there are just more farmers adopting that on their operations as well. So a great time to really make that expansion, right?
Yeah, so traditional conservation programs have been kind of the cornerstone of the way we've approached, and we being society in general, approaching conservation, soil conservation, water quality improvement. So with the addition of these programs that are focused on connecting the actual products and the things that are produced with the upstream generation of those. And creating incentives for farmers to manage their crops differently and deliver to these markets. It's really an exciting time to see the private sector build in on top of what but it's been done in the public sector for years.
Right, and practices like this and getting that adoption more thorough is a big group effort, and you guys are partnered with Practical Farmers of Iowa as well. That's obviously a great ally to have on your side because they're pushing that same thing.
Yeah, so PFI has been instrumental in pushing for cover crops, pushing for improved nitrogen management, all sorts of ways to diversify farm operations and also improve the revenue that farmers receive. And so we're proud to partner with them and build on the promotion and the outreach and education that they provide for farmers when they're trying to adopt these new practices. All of our programs have the opportunity to work with PFI to improve the actual execution of the use of the practices. Cover crops in particular, they've been a big proponent, and a lot of what we see on the landscape today has been instrumented by PFI and the partners that they've worked with. So we're happy to be working with them going forward as well.
Right. And of course, when farmers are thinking about those practices, a big thing they want to know for their operation is what benefits will I be getting out of this? And, Regenerations offers pretty unique benefits because there's a lot of that, kind of cost return or that profit return to those farmers. So just tell us a little bit about those benefits that farmers can see.
So for using a practice like cover crops, the dollars and cents, you pay real money to get that practice on the ground, and then you're receiving the benefits back in less tangible ways. A lot of times, we want to take the incentives we have and take that risk out of it right away. So the money that you're spending and is being spent on seed, on actual seeding of that, we want to be able to help offset those costs. Now we're not receiving a lot of the benefits that farmers might receive on farm. So we think that everybody has something to gain from this. We get to attach those environmental outcomes to the food products and the products that our downstream customers are looking for. Farmers get the benefits of nutrient retention, soil retention, ground cover, a lot of times forage that comes along with using that practice. So we think there's something for everybody to gain, and what we're looking for is to help assist farmers document the effects that the practices have, and then help market that along with their crop to our downstream customers and through the value chain.
It only takes a short read about regenerations to see that flexibility is such a focal point of the program because, you guys have those shorter contracts, the flexibility within it. That's really kind of the advantage that producers can see specifically from regenerations, right?
Yeah, so we recognize that farmers have a lot of options to market their grain. We appreciate our people choosing us, and we're always putting out a bid. We put out strong offers for corn and soybeans all the time, and we want these incentives to match that. We understand that things change from year to year. Farmers have to make decisions about where they market their crops, how they share information about how they grew those crops in the first place, and we recognize the need to be flexible. So going forward, as farmers look at where they market their crops, they also need to consider how they grew those crops and how they can share that information so that it can follow through the value chain for them to receive additional incentives, but also to improve the marketability of those crops into the future.
All right. And then, of course, for producers who are interested in learning more, there's a community meeting coming up here in Iowa for those producers to get out there and see what these practices look like and just get a better idea and talk to people about it. So just tell us a little bit about this upcoming meeting.
So we're hosting a meeting on the 21st of August in Keystone, Iowa at Turner Hall from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. What we're looking to highlight there is all of the opportunities for farmers to take advantage of our cost share, how it can be paired with existing incentives, also to meet and understand who the local service providers are in that area to help them get the practice out on the ground, help them manage the changes and the risk that they might introduce into the system when they use those practices and minimize it. So we're looking for anybody who's interested in the practices, who's already done cover crops, is interested in emission scoring or any of these incentives that we're offering, to come and learn more and to interact and join the partners and the people that are going to be making it happen on the landscape.
All right, Theo, lots of great information today. And then outside of that meeting, if any of our listeners and viewers would like to learn more about regenerations and everything that ADM offers, how can they do that?
So all of our information for our program is on our website. It's admadvantage.com /regen. If you navigate to that website or search for ADM regenerations, you should get to that. That has all the information about what's available in Iowa, but also in other states, information on how to enroll, links to enroll. That's what we're looking for, is people to understand what we're offering and consider it when they're thinking about how they market their crops and what incentives they want to take advantage of.
Thanks for taking the time to visit with us today, Theo, and good luck and congrats on the expansion with the Regenerations program.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
That again was Theo Gunther of ADM. As for right now, let's go ahead and take a look at that ag weather outlook. Depending on the day, you might get some slight chances for thunderstorms, but otherwise, this is a pretty mild August, with most areas having highs in maybe the low 80s or the upper 70s. So really nice time to be outside in the state of Iowa, and of course to be outside at the Iowa State Fair. So here's hoping that that nice weather sticks around and gives us a pretty moderate state fair this year. So let's see what the National Weather Service has in store for the next 24 hours. As you can see from the National Weather Service, today we have partly to mostly sunny skies with a slight chance for storms in the northwest part of the state. Those highs ranging from the upper 70s to low 80s. Tonight it'll be partly cloudy with scattered chances for storms in the west once again, those lows ranging from the upper 50s to low 60s. Tomorrow mostly sunny skies once again as that slight chance for storms moves east across the state. Those highs ranging from the upper 70s to mid 80s. Taking a look at the affiliate weather map for tomorrow, Cherokee will be partly sunny with a high around 78. Shenandoah a chance for storms and a high of 78 as well. Des Moines partly sunny and a chance for storms, high of 81. Waterloo mostly sunny, high of 83. Albany a chance for storms and a high around 80. Clinton mostly sunny skies with a chance for storms later on, a high around 84. For more detailed forecasts in your part of the state, make sure to check in with your local Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network affiliate. It's been a check of the Ag Weather Outlook, and that also brings us to the end of this episode of Ag Matters PM. You can find all of our content on our website at iowaagnet.com. You can also follow us on social media at Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, and LinkedIn. You can find our video content as well as previous episodes of AMPM on our YouTube channel. So don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell to see when those videos go live. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to our free Twice Daily Market podcast. You can find those wherever you find your favorite podcasts on Apple, Amazon, Google, Spotify, and Podbean. From the IARN studios in Des Moines, I'm Riley Smith. On behalf of Mark Magnuson and Dustin Huffman, we thank you for watching. This has been Ag Matters PM.